So I am back in the comic book room after having spent a few days in Tennessee for my family's annual family vacation. And we've been doing this for the last couple of years and honestly having a ton of fun. It gives me an opportunity to spend time with family members that I may only see once a year and others that I see every few weeks. So it's just a great time for us to come together and spend time with one another. It also gives an opportunity for some of the cousins, the younger cousins, to actually play with one another while they're still in their formative years. But we had a blast. Unfortunately, both of my kids were sick towards the end of the trip, but thankfully we were able to squeeze in some fun before they went downhill. I also managed to hit a couple of comic shops while I was away, hit up some antique stores as well, and I have some of those books that I purchased here on the table. In addition to those books, I have some other books that showed up here at the house while I was away. And I can tell you I was a little bit of a nervous wreck because I wasn't quite sure where these books had been delivered, whether they were left outside the gate or whether they were left under the covered porch. Thankfully, they were placed under the covered porch, so that was a nice surprise. One other really cool thing that showed up while I was away was a box of Avengers cards. I'm not the biggest card collector in any way, shape, or form, but I did make a purchase of some Avengers cards several months ago. They happened to show up, and so I did an unboxing of those recently, and maybe you all will see that video here at some point down the road. With that said, let's do a little bit of a haul for the stuff that showed up and also the stuff that I picked up while traveling. Reggie here, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. As you heard in that brief intro, some comics have shown up, or better yet, found their way here to the comic book room, and we are going to take a look at those books right now. The very first stack of books that I want to show you comes from one of my favorite story arcs. This is a story arc that I've read several times repeatedly over the years because I absolutely enjoy it. It is, of course, Marvel Comics Presents. It is the Weapon X story. And so this is Marvel Comics Presents Weapon X issue number 78. And just a gorgeous cover right there. Absolutely love the covers from this series, and this one by Barry Windsor Smith is incredibly well done. Great cover right there. Of course, 9.8 with white pages. And you will definitely see a theme here in this one. Marvel Comics Presents issue number 77. Again, another Barry Windsor Smith cover. Admittedly, I am not the biggest Barry Windsor Smith fan, but there is something about his artwork with the story that is being told in this comic that just resonates with me. It resonates for some reason or another. So here is one of, I think, maybe two CBCS books. This is Marvel Comics Presents issue number 75. And again, just another really cool cover right there. I do believe most, if not all of these, were purchased from mycomicshop.com. And I will tell you, finding this run in a 9.8 is tough. For whatever reason, there are not a ton of copies of these books out there that people have opted to have graded. But little by little, I am finding them. Marvel Comics Presents issue number 75 right there. What is that? Sam Keith back cover. That's cool. I'll have to show that to you. So there you go. There's cover of 74. Again, 9.8 with white pages. And Sam Keith cover right there. You can see that, hopefully. Pretty good. Cool book, man. Cool cover. Again, one of my favorite story arcs that I absolutely enjoy Wolverine as a character. And this story, to me, just added so much background into the character, and I read it as a teen, loved it then, and I've read it again repeatedly over the years just because I enjoy it, and in my mind it has stood the test of time, and which I think is a really great testament. So this is Marvel Comics Presents issue number 73. Again, this is another Barry Windsor Smith 9.8 with white pages. This is the partial origin of Wolverine concludes. And so again, really cool cover right there. Just a fantastic story. It really is Who did the back cover? Somebody do the back cover of note? That's a cool back cover. Thought I'd show that. I don't know, honestly, in all the times that I've read it, I don't know that I paid attention to the back cover. And again, there were actually 3 CBCS books. This is Marvel Comics Presents issue number 72. This is the first appearance of the Weapon X program. Partial origin of Wolverine begins. And this one, of course, is a wraparound cover. I do have every single one of these in the 100K collection, probably maybe 4 or 5 full runs. I don't think any of them were 9.8 worthy for me to be able to send in the full run, which is why I've opted to track them down already graded. I think I probably have maybe 8 copies of just 72 alone. But again, as I looked at them, none of them could get a 9.8. So again, it's just a little bit cheaper sometimes to actually just go out and buy some of this stuff without having to send it in and hope for the best. And again, another cool cover on the back side of that one. As I mentioned earlier, it is not easy to track these books down. I want to say I have another 3 that are inbound right now, and then maybe 3 that I am struggling with finding, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I will be able to locate them. I've bought these off of mycomicshop.com. I want to say I found one on hipcomic.com. I found another on maybe MySlabs. It might have been myslabs.com. I think that's maybe where I found that one. I have not purchased. I did find one on eBay. I think that is my first eBay purchase probably in 3 years, which is crazy. It is crazy to think, but I think that there's a lot of really great places to buy comics that do not require me to go to eBay. And so I've avoided eBay. I've been able to buy books, as I just mentioned, off of multiple sites that do just a fantastic job. I probably would have bought something off of Shortbox as well, but Shortbox, for whatever reason, didn't have any of these copies at a 9.8 for me to buy, and so I didn't for that reason. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I was in Tennessee. I was able to hit a ton of antique stores that I was like driving by, and I would just jump out, run in, see if they had comics. But I also hit up a couple of comic shops, and one of the comic shops that I went to was Nirvana Comics. If you happen to be in the area of Nirvana Comics, I encourage you to check it out. It was a little bit of a drive for me to get there from where we were staying in Tennessee, but it was absolutely worth the visit. The inventory is fantastic. The store is well organized. They have a little iPad that you can check out and see what's in their warehouse, which is like right next door. So that was a really cool touch. And then the staff was just incredible as well. And so again, if you are in the vicinity of Nirvana, I encourage you to check it out. I had to restrain myself. Because there were a lot of really cool books that I wanted to pick up. But I did a little bit maybe of some indie purchases. The first couple of books that I picked up, this is These Damn Kids from Second Sight Publishing. I've wanted to pick this one up for a while. Walked in the shop and it was sitting right there, and I had to go ahead and snag it. I am actually looking forward to reading this one. These Damn Kids, issue number 1 from Second Sight. We're going to check that one out possibly tonight. Here is Vanish, and this technically is from Image Comics, but I called it an indie because I supported Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman's Substack, and that's where this thing kind of originated out of. That's why I consider it an indie. I have not read this, but I went ahead and picked up the A cover for them, and so I'm actually looking forward to checking this one out. I've heard a couple of people read it, but I am going to hopefully dig into it tonight. The next book that I'll show you is a really cool book. I have missed out on picking this book up maybe twice before because the condition wasn't there. I decided to wait. I'm glad that I did because I walked in and it was on the shelf at Nirvana. This is X-Men issue number 49, the first appearance of Lorna Dane, and just a really, really cool book. I had not read this one because I was waiting to buy it to read it, but I read it last night and I rather enjoyed it. I went ahead and read this one. I read 50, and then which I already have in the collection graded, and then I read 51 and 52, and it's early X-Men, so it could be a little rough, but generally speaking, I enjoyed the stories. I enjoyed particularly the backup stories that gave a little bit of some origin into the characters. I thought that was a really cool thing. But again, really nice copy here of X-Men issue number 49. The price wasn't bad either. I think Nirvana actually offers a service where when you buy a classic book above a certain price or a book of a certain price, they will actually clean, press, and submit it on your behalf. I opted not to do that because I wanted to bring the book home because I was excited, and so there you go. But the last book that I'll show you is one that just happened to show up here while I was away from mycomicshop.com. It is this one right here, Venom issue number 17, the very last book that I'll probably get from this run. I haven't read any of these in quite some time, but I was digging what Al Ewing was doing with Venom, so I decided to keep it going. But if I'm not reading it, I'm probably just gonna kill it. So there you have it. That is my little haul of books that I either picked up while in Tennessee or arrived here at the house while I was traveling. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, I definitely want to encourage you to give the video a thumbs up. If you have a comment to make, feel free to go ahead and leave that behind as well, because I generally read and respond to all of the comments that are left behind. And if you need to reach me for whatever reason, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.